Peace, Code Keepers. I want to talk about Forever. So I watched the Netflix show Forever and loved every moment of it. I really did love every moment of it. And I want to talk about 5 things related to Black empowerment that can be found in Forever. So if you haven't seen Forever, this is not going to be a spoiler. I would say I don't like love stories normally, but I enjoyed this. I really kind of enjoyed this. I think that if you haven't seen it, I would say go see it. I would really recommend that you go check it out. So, number one, I said I was going to talk about 5 things that are about Black empowerment in Forever. Number one, there's a scene when the main characters, there's 2 main characters. One is a male, one's a female, right? So the male main character, his mother, who is banging, by the way, she tells him something that I heard at Hampton University. When I first hit campus on Hampton University, I went to participate in the marching band. And there was a saying. We heard it the first day we were there, and I heard it every day I was there for my 4 years. And that saying was, early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. And so the mother said that to her son in the film. So how does that relate to Black empowerment? There's a standard that people who are really empowered rise up to. And I think it's important that we rise to that standard. And timeliness might be part of that standard. It's not the biggest thing. And look, some of us say that dumb stuff about we're the only people that have. No, we're not. We're not. I've been around a lot of different people. A lot of different people are late. But the people who are really powerful either don't have to abide by time or on their way up, are extremely punctual. So on your way up, become very punctual. On your way up, become very punctual. Number 2, the imagery in the household of the male main character blew my mind. It was just so captivating. The paintings, the artwork, the depictions, the decor. So there's something about imagery that really exemplifies and sends a message. This was Black excellence. I didn't even have to know what the parents were doing and even know if the parents had high standards. I didn't have to look into that. That the artwork depicted and exemplified that. So we need to make sure we surround ourselves with images of excellence, images of high achievement, images of self-expression, the freedom of self-expression, the freedom, right? So, peace to the gods and earths and the beautiful people of the universe. I say, if we want to increase the empowerment, particularly the Black empowerment in your life, surround yourself with better images. Now, in the film Forever from Netflix, one of the things I didn't like were the scenes of intimacy. And for me, that's because these actors and actresses, particularly those involved in the intimacy scenes were depicted as teenagers. And that just rubbed me the wrong way. So it wasn't for me. I knew those scenes weren't for me. I just got up and got something to drink. Got some water or something else to drink. So those scenes weren't for me. However, the thing that's intriguing about those intimacy scenes is the woman, the young lady, after a bad experience with intimacy and doing the most, she started taking it a lot more seriously. So she was still free, and nothing like a free woman, but she took it seriously. And I'm not doing spoilers, but if we want empowerment, then our intimacy has to be taken seriously. So when you're intimate with somebody, to even brotherhood, sisterhood, loverhood, whatever it is, jump off hood, side piece hood, spousehood, whatever it is, take it seriously. Intimacy was taken seriously after she was burned. And even though the young man didn't really understand it at all, at sometimes he respected it. Why? Because he saw something similar with his parents. Possibly. That might be the reason why. Who knows? My point is, intimacy should be taken seriously if we want Black empowerment. Number 4, Fearless 4. Peace to my brothers of 151 Incorporated, particularly my Fearless 4 brethren. Number 4 is education was valued. Now, education was valued not just going to school, but learning a trade, learning how to do beats, learning how to make music, learning how to express yourself. The trade of being an athlete was taken very seriously in forever. And if we're going to focus on empowerment, we have to take education seriously. So the educational system may be against us. In many ways it is. But if we take education and learning and having skills and having knowledge where we can change things seriously, if we take it seriously, it leads to stronger empowerment, more opportunities. The more you know, the more opportunities come your way. So if we're about Black empowerment, if we're about empowerment at all, we have to take education seriously. And finally, the 5th thing, the thing that is really intriguing, both of the main characters struggled to share with their parents something that deeply concerned them, right? I'm trying not to do spoilers, but both of them had things that deeply concerned them. With the young man, it was where his life was going to go, what he was going to become involved in, what was he passionate about. With the young lady, what trauma did she deal with? So there was a sense of freedom that came for both parties after they shared with their beloved parents what they were dealing with or thinking or struggling with or being challenged by. And even though the parents may not have immediately jumped in and say, yes, I'm going to love you anyway, I'm going to hug you, it's all good, things are great, the parent has to go through their challenge, their expression of disgust and betrayal and all the other emotions that you go through as a parent when you find out something about your child that disturbs you, that wasn't going in the direction that you wanted it to go. When you realize that your child has been lying to you, they've been hiding things from you, they haven't been forthright. When you realize that you hadn't picked up on some things that you think as a parent you should have picked up on. When you realize that there are some things that you weren't able to do for your child that you wish you could have as a parent. So even though the parent had to have their flip out moment, right? There was a freedom that came from being truthful and honest. And as we move towards empowerment, we gotta be honest. And sometimes being honest is difficult. Something I struggle with, Code Keepers, something I'm sure many of you struggle with as well. But there's a freedom and there's a power once you're finally honest. And so those are the 5 things about Black empowerment that I saw in the Netflix series Forever. There are many more. And what I would love for you to do is in the comments, leave me some messages and let me know what Black empowerment or what empowerment things you found in Netflix's Forever. Shouts out to everybody involved. I actually watched some of the episodes twice. The music was good too. They had one of my favorite joints by Snow Allegra on there. That was hot. They played my joint. That's my type, baby. That's my type. Hey, look, I love some Sweetie. I do. I love some Saweetie. Yo, ever since she put out that freestyle when she was using that Kaya beat, what was that? Icy freestyle. Where it was, whatever the song was, it was dope. So check out Forever and give me some feedback. What empowerment messages did you find in the series? And I just found out that, hey, season 2 is forthcoming. So hopefully we'll have more empowerment on the way. And actually, as you leave comments, and as I get feedback from some of the folk who don't want to leave comments, but want to hit me up with a text or an email or a DM, don't DM me because I normally ignore those. I'll come back and I'll talk about some of the things you guys picked up on. All right. So look, I'm Seko Varner. I'm the publisher of the Hampton Roads Greenbook, which is a online directory and a website app and a website of the Black-owned businesses. It spotlights the Black-owned businesses in Hampton Roads, which is Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Newport News, Hampton, right? Those are the 7 cities. But we also include Yorktown and Williamsburg and Franklin, Virginia as well. So we highlight our businesses, organizations, and professionals in Hampton Roads. I'm also the producer of the documentary series called Generational Flip. And we have 4 episodes out. You can find them on YouTube with the ads, and you can see them ad-free for a fee if you go to generationalflip.com. Generationalflip.com, the idea is we're going to do things very different than preceding generations. We're going to flip the mindset, and we're going to have better outcomes. And we deal with finance, and we deal with mental health. So check out generationalflip.com, generationalflip.com. And Code Keepers, we love you. Peace.